Hitler aimed to establish a nation in Germany that consisted of people who were racially pure. In 1933, he introduced policies that prevented non-Aryans, particularly Jews, from holding government positions. This event signaled the start of systematic mistreatment of non-Aryans, particularly targeting Jews. This eventually led to the Holocaust, which was a methodical and cruel extermination of over 11 million individuals in Europe. The majority of those who lost their lives were Jewish. Anti-Semitism, which is the hatred of Jews, had strong historical roots in Germany and other European regions. Jews were unfairly blamed for different issues, such as Germany's loss in World War I and economic difficulties. They were made into scapegoats. Hitler successfully took advantage of these feelings, gathering backing for his oppressive actions towards Jews. The mistreatment of Jewish people increased during Hitler's rule. The Nuremberg Laws, enacted in 1935, took away the civil rights and property of Jews. Additionally, they were required to wear yellow stars of David as a way to identify themselves. On November 9, 1938, a violent event occurred called Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. During this time, Nazi stormtroopers carried out planned attacks on Jewish homes, businesses, and synagogues. The streets were left covered in broken glass. The Jewish community was wrongly accused of causing the destruction, which led to arrests and fines being imposed. Numerous Jews attempted to escape Germany, yet other countries hesitated to welcome Jewish refugees. Certain individuals were granted entry into countries such as France and the United States. However, the implementation of restrictive immigration quotas and the presence of anti-Semitism hindered a larger number of refugees from seeking refuge. During the time of the Great Depression, certain Americans were worried about having to compete for a limited number of jobs. This made it even more difficult for refugees to be accepted. When war started in Europe, people became afraid of enemy agents and started to suspect refugees. The Coast Guard refused entry to a ship carrying Jewish refugees who had papers to emigrate to the United States. As a result, the passengers tragically fell into the hands of the Nazis after the ship went back to Europe. The Holocaust is a somber part of our past, reminding us to stand against hate and prejudice and safeguard the rights and dignity of every person. By 1939, Germany had a relatively small Jewish population of around 250,000. However, the countries that were occupied by Hitler during World War II had a much larger number of Jews, reaching into the millions. Hitler had a goal to get rid of all the Jews in Europe. He started a plan called the Final Solution, which was a deliberate and organized effort to kill all of them. The Nazis held the belief that the Aryan race was superior and should strive to maintain its strength and racial purity. As a result, they apprehended people who were seen as enemies of the state. This group included Jews, political adversaries, such as liberals, communists, and socialists, as well as other communities like gypsies, Freemasons, Jehovah's Witnesses, homosexuals, individuals with disabilities, and those who were seriously ill. Jews were made to live in ghettos, which were specific areas set aside for Jewish people. They experienced severe conditions, were made to work in factories, and were left to endure starvation. In spite of the harsh conditions, certain Jews opposed the Germans and established schools within the ghettos. Numerous Jewish individuals were transported to concentration camps, which served as labor camps where prisoners faced severe hunger, illness, excessive work, and torture. Unfortunately, these circumstances often resulted in fatalities. The Holocaust was a terrible event that showed how cruel humans can be. It reminds us of the importance of stopping such horrors from happening again. The Nazis created 6 death camps in Poland in 1941 because the initial concentration camps were not killing Jews fast enough to meet their genocidal objectives. Upon reaching these death camps, prisoners were divided by medical professionals. Individuals who were deemed too advanced in age or lacking physical strength were directed towards gas chambers where they were tragically put to death. Additional prisoners were executed using various methods, including shooting, hanging, or being subjected to dreadful medical experiments performed by doctors at the camp. By 1942, many people around the world became aware of the Holocaust and the specific plans of Hitler's Final Solution. News of the concentration camps and the horrific acts committed by the Nazis began to circulate. Different nations and individuals had varying responses to the Holocaust on a global scale. Courageous individuals endangered their lives to conceal Jews or aid in their escape. Nevertheless, numerous countries, including the United States, provided minimal assistance to Europe's Jewish population throughout this sorrowful period. The United States has been criticized for not doing enough to help those who have been affected. Regrettably, a total of 6 million Jews lost their lives in death camps and Nazi massacres. Although many Jews experienced horrific conditions, there were some who were fortunate enough to be saved and even survived the concentration camps. The Holocaust serves as a sad reminder of how hatred and prejudice can lead to extreme cruelty. It highlights the need to promote tolerance, understanding, and human rights to prevent similar tragedies in the future.